Verne wanted to push reality. Verne wanted to push, by God, what we do is real, and you sitting at home or buying a ticket to come to our show cannot do what we do in this ring. So don't even think about it. And if you do, you're going to get hurt. And chances are, if you were to get in the ring with any of those guys, then they were all extraordinarily tough and would make you think not once, twice, but wish to God that you weren't even born to think to get into the ring with them. And, people would talk about Billy Robinson and how great Billy Robinson was at the time. Billy Robinson was great for them at the time because Billy was unique. He was different. He worked differently. He worked that English style. It was very quick and, little fancy moves and stuff like that. But his promos were like listening to paint dry. They were just dull. And again, not knocking it, because for people at the time, that's what they knew. And by God, they loved it. You ask anybody, our friend, our good friend, Tim Sabian, it's like, Tim, Verne Gagne, by God, back in the day, Gene Okerlund and Verne Gagne, that was the thing. That's only because he had never seen Jose Lothario and Bruiser Brody and all these other guys. And they had talent, but Verne was able to take talent, man, and make it mean the most. He did very well. Look, you can't knock it, because in that area, and I think it also helps that you've got the University of Minnesota, at the University of Nebraska, you've got an area where amateur wrestling is as big as football is in the South. So people knew amateur wrestling, and they believed that the AWA with Verne Gagne, who was a national champion and world champion, that by God, he could beat anybody. Because I saw it. They brought in Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor was the 1972, I think he won a bronze medal, maybe. But Chris was okay. I don't know. No, actually, I take that back. Chris was the shits. Chris was horrible. But he was an amateur, and he went to the Olympics. So by God, since he went to the Olympics, Verne was going to push him. Ken Patera was a power lifter, went to the Olympics. Verne pushed him because he was a real athlete. Kenny had personality. Ken learned how to work. Chris Taylor had no desire to learn how to work because he felt that since he was an Olympian, nobody should beat him. And in the real world, not that many guys in the business could have beaten him. But he also didn't bathe a lot. It was kind of stinky. Guys didn't want to work with him. So he was Vader before Vader. Very stinky. Smelled.
My goodness.
What? No, but I mean that was, look, I know we talk about this and people go, oh, you're talking about people's body odor. Think about this, though. You're in the ring with somebody. You're locking up with them. You're putting headlocks on them. They're putting headlocks on you. You're having to be right next to them. Take a shower. Clean your gear. Because it's kind of gross when someone really starts to sweat who already smells bad. And it gets on you. And it's just disgusting. So that's, I'm not making fun of shit. I'm just saying man, take a bath. Wash your gear. That's professionalism in this industry.
Bathing is professionalism?
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
It is.
Oh,
Do you want Conrad? Okay. You're selling mortgages and you got a guy that doesn't take a shower. And you got a guy that doesn't bathe and he comes into the office and he reeks to high heaven. When someone walks in from the street to get a mortgage. Oh, well, go back and see Stinky over here. I'm going to tell you right now. You send me to go see Stinky, I'm going to find an excuse within 2 minutes as to why I got someplace else to be. And I'm going to go find someplace else to go in a bank where they got people to take showers and wear clean clothes.
Well, you've always let Dave Silva produce our show, and he's not the biggest bather.
Well, but you know what? He stays away from me.
That's true. He does do it long distance.
Yes.
Oh goodness.
So,
Listen,
so Verne was very much into reality. Verne wanted everyone to believe his stuff, but at the same time, Verne brought in guys like superstar Billy Graham, who did very well there because he was different. Wahoo McDaniel, but Wahoo was real. You know, Verne had a very successful territory built on reality and built on the fact that, you know, Verne ran that territory. Even when he was champion, they knew Verne was the guy because he positioned himself that way. And Verne always had, you know, he always had to have his champion be someone that he felt he could go on TV and talk about their credentials and talk about, you know, how legitimately great they were. Now, you take a look at, if you're watching on YouTube, take a look at the Nick Bockwinkel sleeper. The Nick Bockwinkel sleeper is a sleeper that was taught to Nick Bockwinkel by Verne. You know who taught Verne? Paul Bosch.
Oh, okay.
Paul Bosch gave Verne the sleeper. This is the correct way to put a sleeper on. You don't put a sleeper with your hand on top of someone's forehead. It does nothing. It's a shit. It's stupid. Don't do that. Okay? Matter of fact, I have a plaque downstairs from Verne to Paul. Thank you for the sleeper.
Wow, that's fun.
Verne Gagne. Because it made his career. It gave him a finish. It gave him something that people could believe in. And Verne put it on the correct way. Verne put it on as a shoot. If somebody came up to Verne on the street and said, oh, hey, yeah, I don't think that sleeper works, Verne would be good. All right, come here for a minute. Verne would put him out. Paul did the same thing. Because the way they did it was real. It's a shoot hold. Unbeknownst to Bobby Fulton, who one time said in the dressing room, oh, I thought that was just work. Duh. Everything you do in the ring should actually have a real application to it. And you should know how it really feels when you're putting it on holds. And you know, Verne liked to have that control in everything that he did. Sorry, I'm looking over here just to make sure. And
Everything needs to look real, like the people's elbow.
Yeah,
exactly.
You ever been hit with people's elbow?
No, don't want to.
Well, you don't want to.
No,
that's my point.